The Asus Zenbook S16 is a laptop that has been reviewed by many channels, but I still wanted to check this out myself because it is just so awesome. We are going to talk about its performance soon, but first let's just appreciate how unique the ceramic polymer finish on the lid is. I am not sure if this is superior to other types of materials, and I can already see one ink stain that I am unable to remove even with alcohol, but it does give this laptop a very unique look and feel. This is an incredibly thin laptop at just 12.9mm, making this quite a bit thinner than a MacBook Pro. It's so thin that it barely has the space for a 3.5mm audio jack, but we still have two USB 4.0 ports here along with a full-sized HDMI, and they have even included a very fast SD card reader near its USB-A port on the other side. Asus has added a lot of character to this laptop, and the branding is also nicely present in other areas, so it really has a lot of personality for a thin slab of a machine. We have a 16-inch OLED panel here with a 3K resolution that runs at 120Hz, and this panel is such a joy to use. I do keep mentioning this in every video about OLED panels, but it is a life-changing experience on laptops, and the big 16-inch screen makes this amazing for watching videos, for productivity, and for gaming with its super quick response time. I also can't go back to using a laptop without a touch screen, but we do have one here, and it also comes with a pressure sensitive pen that you can use to draw or select stuff. One issue that I have with using the pen on this device is that the lid of this laptop doesn't open at a 180-degree angle, so it's awkward to try to sketch something on it, which makes the pen look like an afterthought, even though the pen is quite awesome with changeable tips.
This is a good time to talk with you. Hello Siddharth, how are you doing? I'm a broker in Forex market. Hope you know what is Forex, right?
Yeah, so actually see, as I told you that I was like recording a video currently, so I have to like pause. I didn't have like okay, yeah, bye. Let's talk about the CPU now, and the name of the Ryzen AI 9 HX370 has been criticized by many, but their earlier naming scheme wasn't that great either, and Intel's naming scheme is probably even worse, so we should all be disappointed at the industry collectively instead of AMD specifically. But naming aside, this new Zen 5 chip is the most powerful x86 CPU that you can get in this form factor. The only laptops more powerful would be the high-end MacBook Pros and gaming laptops that are at least 3 times thicker. This chip can be configured with a TDP of up to 54 watts, but as this is a very thin device, we have it running at its default TDP of 28 watts, so we may see thicker laptops in the future with the same chip that are able to perform much better than this device. But that is no reason to be upset, because this chip is still able to deliver outstanding performance in all benchmarks, and it even beats Apple's M3 Pro chip in multi-core performance, even though the M3 is kind of old in comparison. For video editing, this could be the thinnest device that can deliver a good experience in Premiere Pro, and if you are a person who has to edit videos on the go, this would be such a nice device to have. For gaming, it is a similar story, because even though you cannot get 60 FPS in Cyberpunk, the performance that you are seeing here is very surprising when you consider that this is an integrated GPU. The Radeon 890M inside is one of the fastest iGPUs that you can get in a laptop. I remember the integrated GPUs being just good enough for running Windows smoothly, but here you can actually get a decent esport gaming experience, and I think that is an incredible achievement for something that is as thin as this. Ultrabooks were not known for their performance, especially on Windows, but that changes when you have something like this. Now let's get to the AI part, and the reason that AMD has added AI in its processor's name is because it has a neural processing unit. Having an NPU on your device means that you can process more AI tasks on your device locally, which makes your data more private, and there are a variety of workloads that will benefit from this NPU in the future, as its 50 TOPS figure is supposed to be very impressive. Most of the apps don't leverage the power of the NPU at this time, but as we move towards having more and more AI features on our PCs, it should prove to be useful. One concern I have about this is that even though we have a good NPU for now, we have limited applications that benefit from it, so by the time we are able to leverage a dedicated NPU's power in a couple of years, the 50 TOPS of power may not seem that much, but that is just my speculation, and this may still make it much better than laptops without an NPU. The S16 is able to manage its thermals well for its design, but some parts of it do get hot when you push it. I am fine with how hot the keyboard and the top grille gets, but the bottom of this laptop reaches temperatures close to 60 degrees, which is so hot that you cannot keep your hand on it. So unless you keep it on a well-ventilated desk, this could become a problem, and keeping it in your lap will of course not be good for you if you want to father children in the near future, and even with moderately intensive loads, it can get hot even when you have the fan set to full performance mode. I live in India where the climate is naturally hotter, so it may not be a big issue on the other side of the world. But coming on to the much more positive things, the battery life of this chip is superbly impressive because it lasted for a full 12 hours in my 1080p video streaming test from YouTube, so you may even be able to achieve longer runtimes when you are doing simple tasks, and this is again a big win for Windows laptops which have not been as competitive. We have a 1TB Gen 4 SSD here which you can change or upgrade, but that is the only user replaceable part because even the 32GB of DDR5 RAM is soldered on this board, though you are probably not going to need more of that. One weird thing that happened to my review unit was that it did hang a couple of times. Like you can see here that I am just stuck here in Paint 3D and I had to force it to restart manually. The keyboard here is decent for what you can have in a device as thin as this. The layout is good, but the travel is kind of shallow. I am able to type fast on it, but this is something that you may have to get used to. We also have a cool keyboard auto backlight feature that turns it on when your surroundings get too dim. The trackpad is one of the biggest that I have seen. It has a very nice glass surface, and the feature to control the volume and brightness by sliding your finger on the edge of this trackpad works so well that I think more laptops should include this. There is a dedicated key to launch Copilot on this keyboard, as this is one of the first Copilot Plus laptops. It can be remapped if you don't like it. The onboard speakers on this device are surprisingly great, and I am amazed by how loud and clear they are for a device this thin. And this is what the webcam on this laptop looks and sounds like. It is not amazing, but it is also not bad, and it does support facial recognition with Windows Hello. So overall, the Zenbook S16 is an incredible laptop in many ways, and for a lot of people who just want to get things done, this will be very attractive. I am not a person who obsesses about thickness, but when you have such a portable machine that can just give you an amazing media consumption and creation experience, it just changes how we think about mobile computing. But the question that you have to ask yourself is whether you want this kind of performance in this kind of a form factor, because you are going to pay a good premium for this. I am seeing the price of this laptop to be around 1.5 lakh rupees in India, which is around 1800 US dollars, and that's actually not too bad, but you can also go for the lower end HX365 chip with 16GB RAM, which is also plenty enough. The Ryzen AI 9 HX370 is an incredible chip, but you have to realize that if you are just looking for a great everyday work laptop, this is kind of overkill, and if you are a person who is looking for pure performance, you may also not need something that is so thin. But there is no kill like overkill, so if you want to have an ultra thin Ultrabook with ultra performance, Asus and AMD have made it for you. And that will be it for this video. I'll have links to check it out in the video description. Let me know your thoughts about this laptop in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe with bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.